Someone's telling me rogues are broken, and I don't mean like in a complaining fashion, like, oh my god, my rogue class sucks, Blizzard buff me please. But like, I think rogues are actually broken. I'm not quite sure, but I got some footages and I wanted to share them with you guys. So I've been running around playing my rogue, you know, average, casual, all that jazz. And I feel that there are two problems when it comes to PvP. And it seems to only happen once you enter PvP combat, so like arenas, BGs, but not in world PvP. And world PvP doesn't seem to work the same way. I feel that stealth, for one thing, I feel stealth is broken or bugged or something. It is definitely not the same stealth that we remember in like Pandaria or Warlord's General. And I'm actually in the process of looking back through my older videos to find a good example to show you guys. But I feel that stealth is broken. And if you're playing rogue right now, there must have been some moments where, let's say you're trying to stealth yourself up, right before you engage the enemy. Maybe like you're in the BGs and you're on the mountain, you're just coming off the mountain, you want to stealth, you don't want to stealth too far away, you kind of want to get right in there. So you're just like taking the beeline to the flag or whatever, and then you stealth. Like the buff for stealth happens, the whatever buffs you get for stealth if your subtlety happens, and then somebody can still knock you out of stealth right as that happens. I remember back in the day when Warlords, it was really difficult to catch a rogue like that in stealth. You had to have thrown a spell at him right before he started stealthing, and even then if that spell hit him while he's stealthing, it wouldn't break him out. But in Legion it seems that stealth just breaks you out, and again, gonna look for footage where I can showcase you guys what it was like in Warlords and what it was like currently in the game. I mean, is it just me, or does it seem that stealth happens instantaneous? You vanish, and if you have the glyph, you would leave like an image behind, but the stealth would make you vanish, it'd make you disappear. But it seems that current vanish and current stealth, it makes you go into stealth and enemies can see you for like a second, maybe a little less than a second, and then you fade. It's not instant. I just don't understand it. Why was that? And I don't really know. I mean, I understand that they wanted for the game to function differently. They want for the game to have a different responsiveness, maybe even more responsive. I just don't understand what they did with the coding or the general development where this has happened. Although this simply sucks. Now, this probably isn't going to be something that will destroy a game of somebody who is, let's say, Gladiator high rated. But for everybody else, anybody playing Rogue, this is kind of annoying. I mean, can we all agree that this is kind of annoying? It's like, hey, so my mechanic is stealth. Oh, I can't stealth? Oh, I guess that sucks. Oh, shucks. Well, you know, whatever. I don't need stealth. I can always, you know, play Windwalker or Demon Hunter or Feral. The classes that rely even less on stealth and deal more damage than Rogue. But I digress. Let's talk a little bit more about what else is broken. Another thing I believe that is broken, like legitimately just does not function like it's supposed to, is Cheat Death as a talent. Now when you think about it, Cheat Death, Elusiveness, Snared Stomach, let's at least for Outlaw Rogues, that's the you know, the options we're given. Elusiveness has been the best option for PvP for a while. Right? Completely fine, completely understandable. Even I said for the longest time I would never use Cheat Death. I would never use Leech and Poison, like back in Warlords. I would never use those abilities in PvP. But there are some uses to Cheat Death, and with how bursty Legion is, I feel that those uses are increased. Like, there's more likely chance that you will want to use those abilities. The Cheat Death is a spell that reads exactly as is. Fatal attacks instead reduce it to 7% of your maximum health. For 3 seconds afterwards, you take 85% reduced damage. Cannot trigger more often than once every 2 minutes, which is getting the cooldown for it. The once every 2 minutes part gets buffed to 6 minutes in 7.1.5. So that's going to be very annoying, one, to deal with. But second, I feel that Cheat Death doesn't even work. I don't think I'm getting my health reducing. My health doesn't come back to 7% for once. And I feel that I'm skeptical about the 85% reduced damage. Again, I feel like there is some sort of a component for health reduction or damage reduction in world PvP. Like in the world, I get blown up by a mage and a warlock, and then I ask this other warrior to simply blow me up and see, and instead of like reducing damage, it actually has some massive absorb for it. But I don't ever see my health coming back to 7% either. And so I'm not really sure how that functions. So I feel either the tooltip is outdated or something is wrong with Cheat Death in the way that it functions. it says it brings you up to 7% health, damage reduced by 85. Whenever I use cloak or something, right, it just says a spell is missed. Like, every time a spell's thrown at me, it's a miss. It's a miss. It's not a 100% reduction. When you play a warrior and you turn on parry, it doesn't say absorb for 35% of whatever the damage would have been, right? It doesn't really say that. It just shows you the actual number. So I'm not quite sure what exactly Cheat Death is all about. Again, I feel like it's broken for PvP. When I'm going against a Windwalker and a DK, expecting myself to die, right? Just sitting there with Cheat Death, I can't actually tell which spell was reduced. I'm just looking at the numbers, I'm like, huh. Were any of these spells actually reduced by 85%? Did Cheat Death, I mean it proc, like you can see the debuff, but did it actually work? I'm not quite sure. But, okay, so if we say it was reduced by 85%, that means those players are literal gods. And they are destroying me as if we're in world PvP. Or in the world. As if we are in world PvP. And I don't really know what to make sense of this, or how to make sense of any of this. I'm confused. So we have stealth that's utterly broken. We have Cheat Death that's, I can't even tell if it's broken or not. And the biggest issue with stealth, I guess, for me is on vanishes, on re-stealths, there are so many moments where a melee or a caster or whatever can just simply block it. So it's like, we already have rogues that are hitting like a glass cannon, minus the cannon. Plus our stealth is busted, and it's like, okay, so this is some cruel joke, right? I don't know, it just doesn't make sense. But then again, we have spells like Killing Spree, that's a talent, still broken, it is still buggy, and still sometimes hits the wrong target. And if you don't remember during Miss Pandari and Warlords, sometimes Killing Spree, ever since they switched it from being an ability that hits AoE every time to a single target spell, what happened was the spell began hitting targets that are not supposed to be hit. Like, for example, if certain CC, like a root or a slow, will sometimes bug it out, let's say you want to hit a paladin, it won't hit the paladin. But instead, even though you're targeting the paladin, it will hit the priest right next to the paladin. Because the spell apparently doesn't give a shit. I don't know, it's just been one of those broken things that's still broken, even though they moved it away from the basic toolkit for Outlaw, made it a talent. I would have thought maybe somebody would take a look at it. But yeah, I don't know. So, Cheat Death, I think, is busted. I think Stealth is pretty sure it's busted. From my experience, I think Stealth is broken. I don't really understand if this is just a PvP thing. I don't think this is an issue for PvE. I don't think I've ever had an issue with this in PvE at all. But in PvP, it's like, I guess there was a bit more of a importance for, I guess, both the talent and stealth to function. For stealth to function. A basic ability for that to function in PvP. But, you know, I don't really understand it. But anyway, this is literally all I want to talk about. I don't even know. I just want to throw this out for you guys. Let me know what are your thoughts on this, or if you experienced any of this. Has Cheat Death ever not saved you or not let you cheat death? And has stealth literally cucked you as a rogue in the past? Because I've noticed cuck someone else. I was like, oh shit, I got cucked by that before. And I think the cuckening from Legion is probably gonna continue for a while. We'll see where it goes in the future. But hey, anyway guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Let me know what let me know everything, whatever, your comments in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.